welcome again to Pfunzo's Views podcast on the Venda Chef channel. I hope you've been enjoying this little setting. I've actually been enjoying it because life is super hectic at the moment. I am studying. Now on Thursday, I have a driver's learner's test coming up, a business and all of those things. So doing this one without having to over edit or do any of that has been like the best because I get to talk to y'all, but I don't have to do like the whole editing, filming, changing, stopping. Like it takes hours to film like a cooking video, and then I have to cut it down to like a few minutes and then post it. And then unfortunately, most of the time doesn't quite do well. I don't know if you guys just don't enjoy the cooking videos or you rather have like the ones where I'm talking, or it doesn't even really matter. But also, thank you for the subscriptions, guys. And if you haven't, please hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell on the side so that you get notified as soon as I post a new video or podcast up on this channel. Now, I've been rambling without introducing today's topic, which is bullying. Now, you might be wondering what brought this one along, or not wondering in actuality, if you are from South Africa or whatever, and you've been here, you've seen the death of a student at maybe secondary school, and the bullying that was caught on tape. So I just said, you know what, let me talk about it and let's just, I guess, in a way, discuss, but not really discuss. But we can have a conversation in the comment section if you definitely want to talk about it, over the points that I did talk about in the video, or the experiences, or the things that we're saying. So bullying, right, guys? It can go from like the physical or emotional, online, offline. It doesn't really matter where, but yeah, bullying occurs literally everywhere. Schools, at home. Yeah. So for me, when it came to bullying, I don't think I ever really like went through like a lot of bullying. For me was really when it came to my weight, and really most of the time it was with words. When it came to my weight, old people, young people, them trying to point out like, oh, you're overweight and things of that nature. So that's where I guess you can say a little bit of my experience when it came to bullying came from. But other than that, I think people were pretty nice to me. I don't know why. Maybe I look like a I look like a victim of something, or I look like I don't know. I look like I'm hurt or something. I don't know, but I've never really gotten like somebody coming to me, beating me up, or telling me words or doing whatever that they're doing. I've never had that. So I guess for me, this topic is mostly going to be just maybe my opinion and I guess a little bit of me when I say bullying. Like I remember when I was young, I told this story for my depression and self-harm episode, and it's basically like a group of no, I don't know, it was not the depression and self-harm. No, no, sorry for that. But if you have not watched that one, please do go and watch it. It is the self-esteem one which came out just before this one. So it is on that episode that I was talking about, like when I was younger, coming from school, and this group of older kids were sitting, and they just decided from there. I do not know them. I've never interacted with them. I've actually never seen them in that area ever in my life. So they were sitting there, then they started saying like, "Oh, look at her big ass thighs. Oh, look at her. Look at how ugly she is," and all of those things. And I was like, I don't know these kids from anywhere. I don't know why they needed to say that. I don't know what they wanted me to do or to say when they were saying that. I just decided to just move right along, and then it affected me, of course, because I don't know these people, and they're just deciding that today is the day that they're gonna just say, like I don't know what you can even call it. Then I think I also spoke about the fact that when I was in university as well. I went into the shopping center, and I was just going. I think we were just going into the mall, and this other lady that I was cleaning decided that that was her opportunity to tell me, as old as she was, to tell me that, hey, oh my gosh, you are fat. And I was just sitting there like, I will. Do I not know that I'm fat? I'm sorry. Is this point out the obvious day to day? I don't understand. Like, what is your point? Like, I'm sure, like, cause like people have told me that with my face, I look like I'm 13 or something. But at the same time, even if I was 13, 12, or 1, it is none of your business to tell me whether or not I'm fat or not. It is none of your damn business. Like, mind your damn business. And this woman was just saying that one of my friends almost went off on her, which I'm saying thankful for that friend of mine. She was about to beat this woman up, but we had to hold her back because I had gone through this a bunch of times. I also remember when I was in primary school, I had another friend as well again was standing up for me after this kid decided that he was gonna start making fun of me because of my weight again after school, and I was going to get like transportation, and this kid wanted to make fun of me. One of my friends almost wanted to beat up this child. I was like, I know what, I have good friends that will stand up for me no matter what. And I was like, yes, chose the right friends. And I was just like, that was great. I was like, yeah, I love that. So that for me was great. And at least I had someone, like, I had people around me who would back me up, my brothers, my mom, and like siblings. I had people, friends, I had like who could stand up for me if like people were like kind of trying to treat me like in like all of those ways. I was lucky enough that I have that. Also, I'm lucky enough that I've never been attacked like online and stuff like that, guys. The things that I see, sometimes when you go on Twitter or any other social media platform and you see how fans or stands or admirers or celebrities or people who are just normal average Joes, right? When they interact with celebrities, right? The way that they like to bully them, even if you tell yourself you're not bullying someone, you are. The words that you use for them, like, oh, you're useless, oh, like you have no talent, oh, you're just famous for being famous, oh, why you just rich, J, oh, why don't you do this or that? Like, and then you just go like, it's almost like I saw this video from this girl from Psych IRL, and she was talking about how for online people to be attacking other human beings, right? People who are influencers or people who are celebrities, traditional celebrities, I guess you can say, just people who have normal things, or when a story blows up and people are like behind it, people tend to dehumanize the subject of their ridicule. They tend to like let's say for instance, I said something out of the side of my mouth because I was being stupid, right? Hold me accountable and all of those things, which is not a problem, right? But you have things like, I think very recently what was on Twitter was when I think it's called is McG, podcaster, decided to speak at the side of his mouth when he was talking about Boity and or ever many men she has slept with or whatever. But he said it, of course, in the most misogynistic way you could. Um, you had people because you gotta stand up with this person. I mean, they were with him when he said some homophobic things. So I'm the type of people that are listening and are taking other people online. I know people who I'm like surprised at the actions that they're doing, but they were like yeah, we're gonna agree with him, we're gonna stand up with him, and then we're gonna go try and bully Boity because she said roaches. The reason why she said roaches at the time that she said it was because she was tired, frustrated, and probably also heard other things that you people decide to say to celebrities as if they're not human beings with emotions and don't actually go through emotions as well. Like, imagine you going online and every single day, because these are things that you might not see because maybe their teams have deleted certain negative comments or they themselves have deleted the negative comments, that there are a number of DMs, the number of messages that when you decide when as a normal human being to roll up in bed on the wrong side of the bed and write those things online and attack somebody, right? Do you know how many of those they get every single day? And there's gonna be a point where you're like, I'm tired of this, and I'm gonna reply to you guys because I am tired of being attacked on a daily basis. These people are attacked on their social medias, different platforms that they have, and I'm sure even in person, the stuff that they never talk about, they're being attacked and bullied like left, right, and center by people, and you expect that when they interact with you, when you are doing this, when you're attacking them at the same time, they're not gonna attack back. Like the fact that you think you're entitled to tear down somebody and not have consequences of that, or that person finally reacting because what you're doing is not it. What you're doing is not okay. So, like, do you expect, like, if you were getting attacked every single day of your life and people were just deciding that today is the day where you are gonna feel their wrath, today is the day where no matter what, you are gonna understand that they think they have more power over your life than you do. And to like they're just gonna do, like, are you telling me you would be quiet and you would not have a reply, or you would not want to say something? Like, would you just be like, yeah, I'm gonna agree with you, calling me ugly, calling me fat, calling me stupid, calling me untalented, calling me all of these things? Like, let me be honest with ourselves that even you would have a reaction and you would say certain words as well. I'm not saying whether it was right or wrong, but I'm just saying that the reason why somebody comes to that point is understandable and it's reasonable, and I get why they get to the stage. Most usually with how you see like people attacking people online, like, guys, even me, self, let me let me not even lie. Like, I'm pretty sure if I was getting attacks every day of my life, unless I had like a buffer in between me, I would get cancelled like 50 times in a day because I just could not sit there and just allow somebody just attack me. Like, I don't think that's a thing I would survive. Like, emotionally, I do not have the capacity to handle such things and leave them as they are. Like, I don't think I'm that emotionally matured enough yet anyway. Like, the number of times you see, like, if Casper posts something, or AKA, or anyone posts anything, sometimes I do believe it's just jealousy. Especially the online ones where people are taking celebrities. And I think it's envy and jealousy and their success. And then the number of people that are following them, and the number of people that they influence. I do believe that sometimes when I see these things, I'm like, this is projection. This is jealousy, and this is just plain old, like, this envy. Like, there's nothing else you can, like, there's nothing else you really can say, like, why it is that somebody wakes up in the morning and says, I saw one now. Today she posted a banging picture of her on holiday, enjoying herself, holding on to that Louis with some Louboutins as well on her feet. And she's out here looking like a beautiful flower or whatever. And then you just decide that today's the day I'm gonna be like, oh, okay. Instead of you taking all that money that you're taking to go on vacation, you could just give it to poor South Africans because we are struggling and we are hungry. Guys, what does that have to? Where's the correlation with these things? Like, the fact that somebody has to defend her by saying like, oh, no, what do you call it? Like, oh no, she does have things that she does for charity and stuff like that. Like, I should not have to justify me going on holiday, like you going on holiday and not saving that money to give it to charity, which a lot of people that always go like give it to donate to charity, some of them don't even donate themselves, not even time, talk less of money, but you want to tell somebody else because they're a celebrity, and you somebody think that, oh, okay, I get to tell them that, oh, this is what you should be doing and this is what you should not be doing. I think it's just, so another bullying that I saw, which I saw a video, I think it was on, what was it on? I think I got the video from, oh no, no, it was on TikTok. So my new addiction, TikTok. Spend hours on that thing. Have to charge my phone so many times because I just wanna watch more TikToks. Um, I went on that thing, I think it was yesterday. And as I was scrolling through, I got to the South African one where a girl was dressed. I don't even know what she was dressed because all I saw was a white top with like a floral skirt, like a long maxi floral skirt, and like the market people, I think some taxi drivers, men, women, were running after her and berating her, following her, and saying certain things, and she had to go to a wall and she was just standing on there, and I was just looking at that thing and I was like, I remember when these things were happening. I think I was still in secondary school, and these poor girls, I feel so bad for them. I think at the time there was a, what is it, Captain Derrigos, or I don't know, Galitos or Captain Derrigos. I'm not even quite sure, but I think it was Captain Derrigos the time that I was going to school anyway. And we were standing there, and what happened was they came from a taxi, and what they were wearing was like a short skirt, a very nice short dress. They looked really nice. They were put together, but it was just short. And the market people, taxi drivers, just normal people going about their business, decided that that day was the day where they were gonna stop, turn around, and then follow these girls. Like, I don't know what the mission was, making fun of them, harassing them, pointing at them, and making jokes. And I was just sitting there going like, and that was not the first instance that had happened in the area in Venda at the Busoldo side where like the taxi rank. That was not the first time, and that was the first time that I had seen it, but it was not the first time it was happening in that area. And I saw that, I was like, so this is all over what they're wearing. It's you people trying to control what they're wearing. It's you people judging that, oh, this is too revealing for you. Oh, let's guys, these poor girls had to go inside the store and buy leggings just so that they stop being attacked. Now these are girls, I think, that were coming from like they were coming from the big cities, right? Coming back home, dressing how they would normally dress when they're in the city, thinking that it will be fine because you would think human beings would mind their dang business. No, but no. You're gonna come in, bully these poor kids, and they were still young, grown as you would think women, right? Those who should be the market women would have some compassion, right? And try to protect the little girls that were being attacked by these grown as men as well. You would think that they would want to protect her, they would want to save her or anything like that. But no, they are part of the problem. They are part of the ones screaming and following these poor kids and making fun of them and saying all type of things out of the like just like out of the side of their mouth, just deciding that they're gonna say some stupid things to these poor girls. And I was just sitting there, I was like, so you people feel like you have the right. Sometimes I feel like South Africans, we have this thing where we think we're entitled to other people's bodies and property for some reason. Like we feel like we're entitled to so many things in this country when it comes to like other people's choices and how other people live, anything of that kind actually. I don't know who told us that we have just the we just have the right to go in and just follow people, harass people, and then demand things from people as if they owe you anything. Like the way we demand from celebrities and the way sometimes men demand from women, like for me, or women demand from men, for me it's just it always baffles me how many times you people like actually think you have some sort of a right to my body and my choices, like that's the thing that I truly never understand. This is the same thing when I was watching this the Joe show, which I think every episode became like a theme that was like annoying me more and more the more I was watching it. But I finally landed on one where it was about I think was it episode Slay Queens or something. And as I was listening to it, you had a lot more women, of course, on that thing. I think maybe there might have been a guy or not. I actually do not remember, but I think the comedian Celeste was on it, and there was also a business owner. I forgot her name. There was other people on that panel of, I guess, of people talking, right? And these people, when they started off, when they pointed, they were like, "Oh, slay queens." Which I just sometimes I think when it comes to South Africa, which is what somebody also said on that program, that when it comes to slay queens, with South Africa, anybody that is dressed well, has a banging body, and it looks beautiful, people are going to call slay queens. For me now, it went from from you trying to use it as like a thing of like, oh, girls that are like basically sugar babies is what you're trying to call them. It went to jealousy coming in, and now you saying every beautiful girl who has a banging body, dresses well, wears makeup, has a weave, and is always dressed the heck up and dolled up beautifully is a slay queen because what you can't get riches. Like, that's the thing, you either can afford it or you don't look like them. So you decided that every girl that looks like that you're gonna call a slay queen. Because I remember even on the program, I think he even like no, I think the girl on the side, which I don't know why I forgot her name, as Fat Joe and Celeste were degrading slay queens or women, which I'm gonna say that beautiful women, and the girl was like, not so long ago, like as the program started, they called her a slay queen, And she was like, yeah, it's fine, call me that, it doesn't matter. And then in middle of the way, and then they started, when now the definition now changed from being just beautiful and having your ish together or anything like that, to it degrading those young women and calling them all sorts of names, and calling them just in a way, I don't want to say HOE, I think that's how you spell, or is it HW? No, I think it's WHORE is what they decided to call them. And like I was just sitting as just like, y'all switched up in the middle when we started talking about this. And I remember in this episode, Celeste saying that it is women who are like this or dress like that that are calling on rape for themselves or abuse. Now, listen, I'm paraphrasing. This is not exactly what she said, but this is like what she was saying, which also made like put me off of the whole entire show. I sat there in my head and I was like, what? Is this you condoning? I said that shocked and I was like, what? Sorry, what? What in the world is this person talking about it? Although she was called out for that right as she said it. But I think she still went down with that mentality. I don't think that changed at all. And I was just sitting, I was like, I cannot believe a black woman said this about other women. But again, why am I shocked? I think there's that thing. This is the thing I always say. Why am I shocked? Why is this? Why are these things that are like things that I should expect actually shocking me from these people? Like it doesn't shock me. This is nothing new. This is not something that I'm like, oh, okay, this happened. No, this is not shocking at all. You kind of expect it from people like this. And I was just sitting there, I was like, I'm disappointed to say the very least, because it's a woman saying this, and I'm just like, as a black woman, even dark skin, even in this color, this little colorism, you you know how discrimination affects you. You know how words can affect you, and you still use the same words to try and attack other women. Like, listen, oh, by the way, if you don't know this, I'm a feminist to the core and bag. If we're gonna use that word to like as an attack or something, that's your business, that's your business. That doesn't really matter to me. I've done a video talking about feminism, but I'm sure I'm gonna redo like a whole podcast, because I think at that time I was not really talking like, I was not really more, I was limited and I edited it down because, when you're on video you make a lot of stupid mistakes like with your face and stuff like that. But yeah. But in any case, yeah, so that was the type of bullying that I was seeing, and every time I see things like this, I'm just like, I can't. I can't. I remember, I think, was it in KZN, where there was a time where there was a street where if you cross to the other side, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember this when I was in university, where I remember, I think a friend even told me about that, like, there's a certain part of street, like, if you're dressed like in, was it trousers or something, and if you cross the road to the other side, you will get attacked, you might get raped, there's a lot of things that might happen. I think you get attacked. And then if you're standing on the other side of the road and you're walking there, even if you're wearing that, you'll be fine. But it's better advice for you to wear skirts, which to me it's always crazy. Like, are you trying to get me to wear skirts so that it's easy for you to come and attack me? Because pants have nothing to do with anything. Like, they are comfortable. When it's cold, you're covered and everything. Like you're fine. Like, I remember that whole entire thing, and I was like, that's just another form of bullying, by the way. If you're just like, what does that have to do with anything that you're talking about today? Like, as I remember, like that whole entire thing, like the bullying. Every time you see a video of like somebody, being posted when, like, if they were having intercourse with somebody else and there was a video taken, and then, by the way, if you ever tape yourself and your partner having intimate sessions, and you decide, if you break up or something, that you're gonna post that is considered revenge porn, and you will be charged and fined and arrested for that. It is illegal. So please, no matter how stupid you feel, it is illegal. And another thing, I remember when I was in secondary school, grade 12, there was this little girl. And so what had happened was, she sent a picture, I think, to the guy that she was dating, a boy that she was dating. and it was a picture of her breasts, and she sent it to, I think, to a guy that she was messing with. We all do with sexting and stuff like that. She sent that picture, and unfortunately, like, her face was also in it. By the way, if you wanna send nude pictures, guys, don't put anything that can identify your tattoos, scars, or anything that somebody can see and say that is you. Don't put your face in it. Just cut off anything that can identify you if you wanna send those things. This is going out to men and women. Don't put your face in it. Okay? So she had sent that, and she was a child, of course. She was, I think, at that time she was in grade 9. Is it 8 or 9? I'm not quite sure between those two, but she was there, and she took a picture, and then I think she sent it to that, and then I think, I don't know what happened or how, like, the thing, it was between, the story was that it was either she sent it to a friend or she had sent it to a guy that she was messing with, and then the guy or the friend or a friend or somebody that found it decided to spread it across, like, to people, which, again, if you do not know this child was below the age of 18, and I think 16 is the age that is the cutoff in South Africa. I'm not quite sure. But it is called child porn. If it is found on your device, people, if you do not understand this, you will be arrested and you will be put on the registry as a sex offender for you having child porn. I don't know why people do not understand this or comprehend this. Every time a video of a child being raped coming out, I'll call it rape, it is not sex. Every time a child is being raped by these people, especially when it's people not her age, and you have it on your phone and you share it, you will be charged for child pornography, you having it, and child pornography distribution for you sending it to other people. Like, I don't know why you people even wanna see the images. Like, I remember that time I didn't even wanna look at it. I did not wanna be involved in that mess. I did not wanna be part of it. I did not wanna see. This was a poor child and she had been exposed, and you people are sharing those images across the whole school, and you're sharing it even to older people. I don't know if y'all don't know what pedophiles are. I don't know if you do not know what child pornography is. I don't know if you don't know. And by the way, when I'm this conversation is coming to bullying, right? Because bullying is just different forms of just harassing people, assaulting people, and all of those things. So that's why I'm talking about this. This poor girl she was just a little kid, man. And you had kids following her. You see this thing where they learned it from their parents, came to school and wanted to practice the same thing of following her. They were going to her window, standing at her window, like laughing at her, and all of those things, and then we're following it up and down. Of course, after the week, everything was done. But the trauma that the child had and experienced, this was at the same school that that poor little girl Lufuno died at. This was at that same school that was happening the year I was in that school. And you had kids from different grades coming up, even ones that were in grade 12 doing that age, as if we're little children now. Like, at that time, there's no excuse for what you're doing, and they were just following this poor girl around, and they also had the images. Even if you are a child, if you don't get this, even if you are young, even yourself, if you distribute that thing and you have it on your phone, it is still chargeable for you. You should not have that thing. Because I remember there was also a time, and I think that child was also followed him, and I think she didn't come to school for a couple of days or so, and or did she actually? I can't remember between her coming to school or not coming. There was a girl that people wanted to do all those to, and then she was just like, I'm not gonna take this, and she was just like moving around and then stopped coming to school, and so what happened was she was raped. I'm not gonna say she was having sex. She was raped because it was a taxi driver that was sleeping with her that was way older than her, and this taxi driver was raping her in the pool. There was video taken of her, and she didn't. I think in that one, did I catch a glimpse of that one? I think I might have. Did I, or was it just described to me what was happening? And then her age was also, but I think she was also intoxicated at the time. And so, like, people, that video started spreading around, even to teachers, which is the most disappointing thing. And then when I look at the child and judge the child, which was like, she's a child. I don't know what else you want. I don't know what you think you're gonna do with these images as grown as people, like spreading these images and videos around of this poor child. Again, it's spreading child pornography, and your homophones should know you're just pedophiles for spreading that thing and talking about it as if like it is an okay thing for you to be sharing, right? Like I just I don't know, when that happened, the kids do the same thing of following her around, berating her, spreading rumors about her. And I'm just like, these things affect people psychologically. There's a bullying thing that we're going to talk about online and social media. There's a lot of people that have ended up committing suicide. And and in a lot of these situations, or just self-harm, or kids becoming more closed off or being emotionally affected by things like this, some starting to take drugs just so that they can just survive through their schooling, and you people are participating in it, and you are part of the problem because you participate in it, and then you berate these small children. And this thing, I'm talking about this in the instance of like a young person, but this also has also happened to like older people. And by the way, most of the judgment never goes to the men. If you've ever seen those things, it's always the woman or the little girl that is being attacked. I remember seeing an image of this other person asking, right? It was like, I think they were just, it was what is it called, expressive art or something like that. And what had happened was, she was wearing a school uniform, né? And she was getting into a car. This car stopped, and the guy was talking to her. You could clearly see that in that situation he was way older than she was. And then ended up convincing her to go into his car. He went and raped her, came in and dropped her off, and gave him money and stuff like that. And I remember, you remember going to the comment section, right? And what you were reading was people saying that, yeah, these women just love money, this whatever. They literally took that black little girl, grew her up. This child at that age that they were showing was not somebody that was over the age of 18. Grew her up into now being a woman. And then I started saying, oh, she just loves money, or she just what it's called, ne, people, even if you do not know, my people. It is called grooming. You can manipulate a child. Let me tell you. I feel like even you guys know this. You can manipulate children when they're young at this age that I'm in, that I'm at, right? At 27 going on 28 in a few months. If I meet a younger person at this age, like 18 and below, convincing them of certain things or certain life experiences or whatever, when there is money involved, where there is other type of access to other things involved, né? It is easy to get them to do what you want them to do. I mean, this is something that's already done, like when you're in a relationship, and most cases your partner is forcing you into doing things like, oh hey, we should just live together, it's just it, you're just gonna do it just once. Because I remember there was a partner of mine, which I'll tell more on the dating one if I ever do it, where this guy, actually not the person wanted to date me. They were not somebody that I ended up dating. They just wanted to date me. And I was about to, this person met me. I was still, was I 18? Yeah, because I was writing my final exam. So I turned 18. And this guy was definitely in his 20s, I think late 20s, mid to late 20s. And he was approaching me. And then when he came to me and was talking to me, and I think I spoke to him and I was like, yeah, I'm about to go to varsity and I'm going. And this person decided to go like, oh, so you're just gonna leave without us knowing each other now. Listen, I was young. I was like, what does it mean knowing each other? I don't understand. Are we not talking on the phone? Does he not know my name? Why does he keep saying that? Auntie is talking about the other thing, being intimate. And this guy kept on going like, no, we should know each other. You cannot just go like that. Or when you go to varsity, you're not even gonna be like talking to me. Or da, 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 all of those things. And I was like, it's pressure, right? Person trying to pressurize me into those acts. And I ended up just leaving without like dealing with this person, of course. But like when I look at situations like that, and you guys never see those conversations happening, somebody pushing, because like let's say like maybe he was a lot more influential, had money or something like that, and saw that, listen, when these guys pick up their victims, they see and they know, like they look at them and they're like, oh, that one is a vulnerable one, that one is not the most outspoken one, that one is not the most, it's basically like what cults do, right? You look at someone, and either through a conversation or looking at them or their behavior, you can see either they're shy, have low self-esteem, or something like that. And I can promise you, I'm sure when he approached me at that young age, he did see that I had low self-esteem. It was getting better, which is the reason why nothing with him ever happened, was because at that time I was learning to love myself. So You had him thinking that, oh, because I was still shy, I was still keeping to myself, I was still like not really talking all that much. So to him, it was like, opportunity. Let me go to this person. Isolate, let me talk to them like this, all of those things. And I think that's the same thing that was happening in that scenario with the girl going into the car. Was this person saw someone who either he saw that there was a struggle of financial struggle and things that can take advantage financially, because even if you all don't really care to know, there's a lot of child-headed households out here that these kids, they don't work, but there has to be food on the table. And a lot of people are like, no, but you can get she's a child. Just listen, if it's there's ever a time where she was ever approached by older people that if you had sex with me, I'm gonna provide you with this and this and this, you're acting like you would know what to do if you were the older one in a family and the people had to eat, where your parents were not there and you were the only one left and taking care of your siblings. As if you ever even know what you would do in that situation. And I know somebody will be like, no, but I was in this situation and they're good. Congratulations. I'm glad you did that. Congratulations, that person didn't. It doesn't mean that you have the right to tell them that, oh, no, you just thought of the one easy way, blah, blah, blah. It's none of your business. You chose your way, they chose theirs. It's none of your business. So they get them through that financial, get them the emotional way, manipulation, or promising them, like, listen, a young child that was damaged sexually, emotionally, is vulnerable enough to people that they either shut out the world and do not want to deal with it, or they want validation and love and affection from outside so that it validates them and they feel special and needed and wanted. And you have a lot of grown men that are going to decide that they're going to fill those positions for you, where they're going to come in and almost it's as if like you do have a father figure, or you do have a mother figure, or you do have something like that, like you have an elder brother type of situation or something like that, where they're feeling that void that you have. And like the comment section was full of people, just men most of the time, that were justifying the act of that grown ass man being basically a pedophile. I don't know if in South Africa, men or the society itself, not just men, men or women, never understand what pedophilia is. Because I feel like sometimes in this country, they never get that because like when you see, I remember the program OPW, Our Perfect Wedding, and this former taxi driver decided to start what do you call it, like he decided to try like being happily describing him, I'm gonna call it rape. Listen, anytime I'm calling it rape, it's they were calling it sex with young children, right? So he was boasting about having intimate sections with young children, right? Young children at the age of 15. This man was in his like late 20s, early 30s, somewhere there. And he's talking about how when he was driving, he was here sleeping with all of these young children. They loved him, all of those things. Like, I don't know what in his head told him that was something to gloat about, but he decided that yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about. Like I think in our society we truly do not understand. I'm going to talk about here in South Africa and conversations that I've had with guys at times. Then it's them not understanding that a child of 18 and below, which for me, I think I would want to cap it off at 20 because I do still feel like when I remembered myself at the age of 18, 19, and 20, I was still not matured enough for certain things. Like I was still not there yet mentally. And to tell you the truth, if I'm being honest, until the age of 25, I still didn't feel like I knew myself. I didn't feel like I had a good grasp on who I was. Right now, if you tell me, it might still change, like if you ask me, not tell me. It might change, of course, in the future, but at the moment, I feel like I've found myself, I've discovered myself, and I'm understanding myself. Of course, it's gonna change as I age into being even more in tune with myself, but I do feel like I've landed right now at a position where I feel like I have a better grasp on my like how I think, on my what I want, Of course I'm still learning other things, but like when I think of like people that are like 18, 19, and 20, I still feel like they still need to get older, and they still need to learn, and they still need to like understand the world. And you have I had a person who was an ex who was telling me about, oh yo, so when I was he was I think he was about 20, what, 27, 26, 27, talking about dating a child that was between 16 and 17, and being proud of it, and go like, yes, I was dating her, and yeah, I was sleeping with her, all of those things. I don't ask me why an ex was talking about their former sexual times or whatever. And like this guy was like proper, like, you are way older, and this person never wants to date people their own age. This is another thing. I remember having a conversation with my brother, and we were talking about the whole thing of like older guys or older people trying to date younger. It's because some of them want to have control over other people. You want to have that control, and if you date people your own age, like most usually guys or women that date exclusively younger at times, uh they do not want to deal with people their own age, because the demands of people their own age is different. The ones, because most of those people are like working, most of those people have demands that like they can also afford, and they don't want to deal with that, so they rather go younger. And when when this person was like telling me that, I was like, that's rape. And then I remember another ex, where a lady who was in her 20s, in her like between mid and late 20s, who had who raped him basically, because he was at 16, 15, 16, when he had his first sexual experience. And to him, he doesn't see that as rape. And I just told him, I was like, dude, that was sexual assault. That was not, you were not of age. And this person was way too old for them to have done that to you. That was not a relationship. That was pedophilia. And like for him, of course, which I think is gonna take time, or he's not gonna accept it, which again, that's a personal choice. And like when I say things like that, and I'm just like, in South Africa, we justify things like that sometimes, because you're not using the words pedophile, which I think that's what you should do. I think the registry should be more open. I think it is open. I think you can find it. I'm not quite sure, but I remember looking into like a criminal registry or something of the US, and if you're like searching for a name or something, it'll pop up. Because for me, I'd rather know if this person I am messing with has ever been charged with statutory rape, or any rape, or a sexual assault or anything, so that I can run the hell away from this person before I go anywhere with this person. You have these people justifying why they're dating his dating him. It's not even called grooming children, basically. And there's no consequences for these people. Like at the police station, our police stations, listen, I feel like I've already done a whole section on police. We know how I feel about that particular department in South Africa. But like I it's just the saddest thing when you're looking at these things, and you're just like, we have a lot of pedophiles in this country. We have a lot of them, and I'm pretty sure most of them don't consider themselves pedophiles, if I'm being honest. Anyway, going back to the topic of bullying, which I think I introduced this thing as bullying, but I think it's gonna be bullying, sexual assault, statutory rape, and pedophilia. I think it's gonna be the title of the whole entire thing, because I just decided that I'm just gonna talk about all of them, because I know technically it's abuse, but yeah, even bullying going into that, because of what happens to the young women or women after all of these instances happen, is a lot of people victim blame. Most of it in this country, I'm sure it's around the whole world, but I'm going to talk about the places that I know. Is this country has a lot of victim blaming. I remember watching the show, it broke my heart. It was on YouTube, I forgot the name of it, but it was a child, barely, I don't know, was she even 6 or 7? I don't remember what age she was, but she was raped by a group of young children who were between the ages of 12 and 14, if not 15. And their parents decided to attack the little girl, who was not even 10 years old yet, and said that she wanted it. This was a baby. They said that she was over sexualizing herself, so she wanted to be raped. This was a community attacking the mother and the child for going to report the rape to the poor child. After her trauma with these kids, And she had to see them every single day of her life because nothing was done when it came to her case. And the community deciding that they wanted to protect the boys and not her, the victim of all of this, calling her, I don't know if this thing is gonna get whatever, but it's fair there, right? Calling her that. And I just, when you they attack this poor child, this is not a child, not even, I don't think she was even, I think when I saw it was, she was not 10 years old, she was not even that age. This is just, the community attacked the poor kid, not the boys that did the rape. Them, they didn't even go to juvie for what they did. They don't have, they're not on the registry, nothing. The community decided that they were going to protect the boys and not the girl that was raped and violated, and then attacked the girl. And I say this country is, we have a lot of things we need to work on. We have a lot of things that we need to work on. I would talk less, like the one that I even forgot to talk about is the attacks and the bullying of the people of the community of the LGBT LG of the community of the LGBTQ plus community. Right? I'm sorry for making the mistakes. I had to write it down so that I could say it properly. The attacks on them, and then people standing up behind that whole this whole attacks. I remember I spoke about this on the religious podcast when I was talking about how the homophobia, like in the Christian faith, and like all of that. Sorry. So yeah, in South Africa, you still have that, like you have that happening here. The bullying of them, the gaslighting of them on social media. The same McG with his misogyny on the Boiti situation. Him and the guy called Soul, I think, decided that they were gonna make certain the statements about trans people, and they were getting, people were calling them out, right? People part of the LGBTQ plus community and those who were not part of it were calling them out for what they said. And of course, you had a whole bunch of homophobic, transphobic people going into gaslighting people of the community and talking about, like, because I know, like, for me, I remember when these people are not gonna apologize because they feel like they have a following. And even if you had people leaving the podcast and everything, right, of course you had people who were coming in, and I say, if ever I'm in the wrong and I have a lot of people deciding to follow me back, don't be proud of that number. Those are not people who will ever hold you accountable for anything that you do. Those are not the most wonderful human beings you're ever gonna meet in your life. Those are the people you want to stay away from. But I mean, it is keen, right? So like with that whole entire situation, right? You had people going like held accountable, all of those things, but of course that the person was never held accountable. Of course not. You had a bunch of people standing up for him, go like, "We will watch the podcast. This is trying to take bread from a black child." I was like, let's not put race into this. This has nothing to do with race. The people that he was talking about, it had nothing to do with race. Please do not put race into that issue. It had nothing to do with that. It was not somebody trying to take bread out of his mouth. Nope. Please do not lie. And the fact that finding out that he was also taken off of, is it YFM or whatever radio station that he was on because of the same statement, so he doesn't learn and he's never gonna learn. He's probably gonna do this again in the future because not being held accountable, not having to say anything, it's, why would you change, right? Um, so of course they started attacking another person for something else instead of dealing with that whole situation. That whole, like, people were like, no, he was being attacked, he was being bullied. To tell you the truth, they left him and then they started bullying somebody else who had said something else, and they decided that they're gonna bully that person so that they could cover up that situation. I was like, okay, so that's what we do here. That's what we do in this country. Deflect is what we're doing. But yeah, but as you know what, sometimes when you sit down and look at these things, this country, we have a lot of things we need to work on. We have a lot of gaslighting we do, most actually to victims. And I just, I don't know. I don't think there's anything literally that I could say that Like, okay, guys, I've been talking about bullying. Please, if you can, down below in the comment section, tell me about your experience with bullying. If you were the bully, or if you're being bullied, and when it stopped, or has it not stopped? If you're going through it, please do tell me. Um, I don't know. It's just this topic is. Hopefully, I was not all over the place or anything like that. I didn't think I was. I was just gonna, when I talk to you guys, it's as if like when I'm talking to my friends or something, and we go from story to story, connecting it, not connecting it, but it being part of the same subject. I hope that's what's coming through right now in this podcast of mine. And I hope it does well because I'm actually enjoying this. Now I understand why people do podcasts. Like it's nice, hey? It's actually nice. I get to talk to you guys. I don't have to edit this down. My mistakes are gonna be in here, and it's like talking to a friend, and at least I get to vent over the things that happen like throughout the week. Because usually I call my brother and I'm like venting for hours and hours and hours, and I'm just like, okay, now I feel better. But at least now I have a platform where I can just be recording like everything I'm feeling and like experiencing and all of that, and I can actually have like an audience or people who are supporting me. Which thank you guys for supporting, and thank you for the new subscribers as well. And I appreciate my subscribers, the first ones, and people watching. I know these videos and this podcast are long, but the whole point of this is you listen to this while doing other things. You don't have to be like actually actively watching or anything like that. You're just listening, and it's just doing your chores, doing all of them things. Yeah, but the whole bullying thing. By the way, let me get back to it. Like, there's one more story that I wanted to tell you guys. Um, I was in primary school. There was this girl who had like a bad attitude. I don't remember her name. But she used to be bullying this other girl, and I remember it was like, oh, good friends. Again, good friends is what you need in life. This poor girl was being bullied. Like, she was like an only child, a little bit pampered, loved people, and she was a little bit more softer, if I can say that. And this girl took advantage of that. She used to take her money every day. She used to like just command her to do things, basically almost treated her like she was her lapdog or something. Until like friends decided like, no, that is not what's gonna happen. You are gonna respect this girl, and you are gonna give accorded the respect, and you are not gonna take her money anymore. You're not gonna do any of that. And it finally stopped, and the girl also got transferred because she was a problem to teachers and to students. And she finally got transferred to another school, which, like, can we appreciate that? She was a problem. I don't know if she's still that at this time, or at least she has changed, hopefully. But yeah, so that whole situation, I was glad that they were friends. We were there for her enough to stand up for her. Um, but yeah, I think for me, when it comes to the stories of bullying or how I feel or anything like that, that is basically where my stories end. And again, let me reiterate certain things for you guys. If you have child pornography on your phone, delete it. If anybody tries to share that, tell them that this is distribution of child pornography, and you can be arrested for that thing. And you can be put on a registry as a sex offender for having such things. And also, you shouldn't watch children being raped and you think it's okay because you want to judge the little girl in the video instead of you reporting the older person who is raping the little girl. If you see a little girl or a little boy sharing their private parts online, advise them. Do not go around trying to attack them. Advise them also, do not have that thing on your phone or on your device because it is still you being in possession of child pornography, and that is a crime. If you see an older man or an older woman who is walking around dating, basically, I'm going to use date, even though it's not dating, grooming, dating a child below the age of 18, report that as abuse because that is abuse. That's called pedophilia. You are grooming a little child so that you can use them for whatever you want to use them tomorrow. It is not love doesn't know age. Children of their own age can date each other. When now you're going over like a certain age, do not go around dating children. Can you not? Thank you for coming to this talk. And I thank you guys for listening to my podcast. And until next time, bye.